Hello everyone, welcome to another movie review. So last night I checked out the new Hellraiser film, which came out straight to Hulu. And thankfully it came out at midnight over here on the East Coast and not 3 a.m. I was really worried about that. I got off work last night and I was looking forward to, watching the film at 12 and not having to stay up all night and not get sleep. So thankfully it came out at midnight and I watched it. It was about 2 hours. So went to bed at like 2 a.m., which is fine, But yeah, real quick, I'll give you guys my quick thoughts on the Hellraiser films. I've kind of touched on them in the past before. I'm not a huge fan by any means, but I love the character of Pinhead and the Cenobites and the whole concept of the lament configuration, the puzzle box. I always thought it was a cool series, in general, even though most of the movies are bad. I haven't seen all of the films. I've only seen the first 5. Doug Bradley was in the first 8, so I would never even watch part 9 or part 10. The ones where they recasted Pinhead and just made those movies just to keep the rights or whatever. I'm never going to watch part 9 and part 10. But out of the first 8 with Doug Bradley, I've seen the first 5. I heard the last part 6, part 7, part 8 are so bad it's not even worth watching, so I stopped after 5. 5 wasn't good either. Scott Derrickson made that one, which, I respect Scott Derrickson as a filmmaker, but part 5, no, not good. So out of the first 5 Hellraisers, I really like the first 3, with the first movie being the best one, obviously. It's not a masterpiece by any means, but it's really good. Part 2 is good. It's very much, in my opinion, a retread of the first movie. It does get different though towards the end, but to me, it's like part 1, but like not as good. I don't know, something about part 2. I never really liked it. I know a lot of people love part 2, and it has its fans, but I've never been a fan of part 2, to be honest. It's not bad by any means. Like I said, it's good. It's just something I don't rewatch. Now, Hellraiser 3. A lot of people don't like Hellraiser 3, but I actually love Hellraiser 3. I guess you could say it's a guilty pleasure. It's not a good movie, but man, I'd rather watch Hellraiser 3 any day than Hellraiser 2. To be honest, I might watch Hellraiser 3 over Hellraiser 1 in terms of like rewatching. Hey, would I rather watch this or this? Now, Hellraiser 1's a better movie, but Hellraiser 3, Pinhead is so over the top in that one, and he comes to Earth. It's a crazy movie. Hellraiser 4 is bad, but I guess it's watchable. It's one of those so bad it's good, I guess. And then part 5 is just bad. Like, it's just bad. Like, you could say it's a good character piece on the main guy in the movie, but it wasn't meant. The script wasn't written to be a Hellraiser movie, and everybody knows this. So, part 5 is not good, Inferno. Now, like I said, I didn't bother watching any of the other ones, and going into this film, David Bruckner, the director, I'm not familiar with him, but he made this movie called The Night House, which everybody seems to be a fan of. And this movie was getting good reviews. Like, people saw it early at Fright Fest, I think it's called, and they were praising the movie, saying it's the best since the original, which, what kind of challenge is that? That's not a challenge. Like, it's the best since the original. Okay, I'm sure any movie would be the best since the original. Like, let's be honest. So this movie was getting high praises. It was, people saying it was very well made. The horror was really good. Jamie Clayton was great as the new Pinhead. And I'm pleased to report, all of that is true. It's the best since the original. The filmmaking was top-notch, and Jamie Clayton killed it as Pinhead. My only complaint with the movie, really, is that I wouldn't see myself rewatching this a lot. Now, I'm not going to talk spoilers, but there is a twist that happens in the third act that makes you rethink the movie and makes you want to rewatch it, because it'll make you see it in a different way. So I am going to rewatch it at some point. But yeah, I did like most of the movie, and the twist was good, I think. And the characters overall were okay. None of the characters really stood out to me. The main actress in the movie, she did a really good job. Her character's name is Riley. She's basically overcoming addiction. She just came out of like a 12-step program, I guess, battling like drug addiction, alcohol addiction. And her character kind of goes on a journey in the movie. I've seen some reviews saying like her character's totally unlikable, which is somewhat true, but she sort of like matures over the course of the movie. Like at the end of the movie, she's totally like, you'll see what I mean. So the main actress did a fantastic job, if you ask me. Everybody was good. You know, there wasn't really any bad acting. There were a few moments here and there where I was like, okay, that was a little over the top, you know. And some of the characters make level-headed decisions too. Like they'll be like, all right, fuck this, I'm not going there, I'm not doing this, you know what I mean? Like in horror movies, it's a trope of like, there's always a trope of characters making stupid decisions or whatever. Whereas most of the characters in this film make sound decisions, I'd say. And man, the production design in this was incredible. Like the sets and everything. And it's a shame too that this didn't get a theatrical release. You know, everybody was saying the same thing about Prey, which coincidentally I watched the other night just out of curiosity. And I really liked Prey. I wish I could have seen Prey in a theater. I wish I could have seen this in a theater. But overall, the film was very good. Like I said, the best aspect was the filmmaking. It's easily the best looking Hellraiser film. The first Hellraiser has some of the most incredible practical effects ever. And from what I could tell in this film, a lot of the effects were practical. I mean, I'm sure there's, you know, CGI and whatnot, but this is the best looking Hellraiser film, hands down, in terms of cinematography and lighting and, you know, all that stuff. And shot composition, you know, and set design. And there are, you know, little Easter eggs in there, especially if you're a fan of Hellraiser 2, I think you're going to love this movie because, man, I was surprised how much Hellraiser 2 was in this. This movie was sort of like a weird blend of the first two movies. Not a remake by any means. It's totally like a reboot. But man, you're gonna love this movie. If you're like a real Hellraiser diehard fan, I think you're gonna love this movie. Which I'm pleased to report. You know, that's what everybody wants. Jamie Clayton as the new Pinhead, she was incredible. Very much in the vein of Doug Bradley's Pinhead. She's not in the movie for like a ton of the screen time, but when she's there, she's really good. She delivers her dialogue very well. She's intimidating. She's scary. I'm not familiar with the actress, and I don't have a problem, by the way, with them recasting Pinhead as a woman. You know, it doesn't matter to me. The character's supposed to be like, you know, androgynous anyway, apparently in the books. And in general, I mean, the character's supposed to be androgynous. I mean, like, just think about the Cenobites in general, like, you know. And the actress, you know, is actually transgender. She used to be a man. So that even makes more sense with the character. Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, she did a fantastic job. And, you know, if they make sequels, which I think they will, the way this movie ends, I think they're going to continue, which I'm happy about. And I hope David Bruckner and everybody else involved, you know, returns to do the sequels. I can't wait to see what happens. And, you know, since it does belong to Disney technically, which is funny, this is technically a Disney movie, which is, you know, they released it on Hulu, their other platform. You know, I hope, you know, they make sequels, and I think the film will do well. It's been getting great reviews. I can't wait to see more. And overall, I'll give the film an 8 out of 10. It's not a masterpiece by any means, but it is pretty good. Like I said, my only complaint is I wouldn't see myself rewatching it a lot. It's not a very pleasant movie either. Like, I know it's a horror movie, it's dark, you know, it's not supposed to be pleasant, but man, there's like 0 moments of levity in this movie. So yeah, you have to be in a certain mood to watch it. But like I said, 8 out of 10, which honestly, that's the grade I would give the first Hellraiser, the original. So it's literally on the same level. In terms of which one do I like better, like I said, the first Hellraiser is great, but it's not a masterpiece. So like, they're pretty much the same. Like, and I guess I'll put them at the same level. Like, I can't really say what's better than the other. So maybe that's some good news for some people. Maybe that's some bad news for some people. I don't know. Like, oh, how could you say that? The first Hellraiser's a classic. I don't know. So I'm just going to put them on the same exact level. They're the same to me. They're interchangeable, I guess. And I got to say, too, the soundtrack the score was really good. It was a lot of the music from the first Hellraiser, just sort of like revamped, which I love. I love the Hellraiser theme. It's really cool by Christopher Young, right? So, anyways, I think that's about it. I'm not really going to do a spoiler section. I'll just say the deaths in the movie were gory and very good and effective, so the gore is there. There is some off-screen stuff, which, you know, I'm never a fan of when horror movies do that, when they go off-screen for a death or for a shocking moment, you know. But, you know, there's not a whole ton of that. You see most of the carnage, which is good. And like I said, the carnage that's there is effective and well done. So the kills were good. But yeah, not really going to do a spoiler section. Yeah. I'll just say, the twist, I was fine with the twist. I don't think it's going to piss off anybody. But that's it, guys. That's been Hellraiser 2022 from Hulu. Let me know what you thought in the comments. How would you rank the Hellraiser movies if you've seen all of them? And, you know, I kudos to you for enduring those terrible sequels. And should I give part 6, 7, and 8 a chance? Because, you know, Doug Bradley is in those movies, but I heard they're horrendous, so I never watched them. I do have them on DVD, but I haven't watched them. So let me know if I should give those movies a chance. And, yeah. But thank you guys for watching this, and have a good one. Bye-bye.